welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I achieve this beautiful French ombre with the splatter wet water droplet look. It's a lot going on in a way, but we're going to dive deep and I'm going to show you guys the cool thing I use. I know you're thinking straight pigments, but that's not what happened here. It's super cool, and I think you're going to be interested in how I created this, and it was also very easy. So this is my client's previous set. Go ahead and check out for the video on this set. It was cute and beautiful. This client was really doing summer in a cute way. And we have to take this off, which I'm sad about. So I am going to be removing this. Isn't it amazing how long it takes to do a design and then how quickly it comes off? It's like Thanksgiving dinner. You spend like a day and a half cooking and then everybody's done eating in 15 minutes and asleep. So I am using the Speedy bit, I believe it's called. It's from my Elegance. It's a very aggressive bit. It is similar to like a Mean Green or Red Baron from Atwood Industries. Also, there's other brands who make high quality bits that'll take down your product fast. So the reason I'm using a bit like this, I generally do when taking off design, but it's not necessary depending on what you're doing. But because I wanted to take off the glitter, I wanted to use this bit to make sure I filed that off really easily and quickly. So I'm just going in and removing everything. Of course, this nail, we don't need to file down as much towards the free edge because it's just a polished on French look. And this client had really good adhesion. I really had lifting issues. It's really something that I am grateful for, with my hand across my chest, that that was something I was able to nail down very early in my nail career, was processes, products, methods to reduce lifting. And that's very, very important for the longevity of your wear. And it isn't a one size fits all. So it's something you have to learn about your clients' habits, what they do with their, you don't have to know their whole like medical history, but things about them. Do they have hyperhidrosis? Are they nurses? Are they hairstylists? Things that matter. So, I went off on that tangent just to say this client didn't have much lifting. Really the only client that has any lifting issues, I ain't gonna talk about her, but it's my mom, and it's usually her pointer finger. If y'all been around for a while, her pointer finger on her right hand. But it's been doing so much better lately. So, stick around and look out for my mom's videos. I created a beautiful set for her just recently. I'm excited about. It's like an abstract cowboys nails set. I'm not really a fan, but I understand whatever she is. Anyways, back on track. So I'm using the Cutie Patootie bit, and I'm using that to kind of push back the eponychium and remove some of that cuticle from the nail plate to get in the crevices in the sidewall, any product that's there, dead skin. This is a diamond bit. It has burrs on the end of it, so it kind of exfoliates and pushes that live skin up. Like I said, it kind of takes the place of a cuticle pusher in a way. This client comes fairly often, so her actual live skin isn't grown on the nail plate that much, so I don't really feel the need to pull out an actual cuticle pusher. Before this bit, I used a diamond crosscut bit. You can get them from Atwood Industries crosscut bit. The one I was using was from my Elegance, and it's called the Shaper bit. And I use that just kind of remove any product, again, that's near the sidewalls, especially depending on what you're doing. You want to make sure all the color is gone. If there's like black left and you're doing something like pink, of course you don't want that to show, but yeah. So I'm using the itty bitty bit again from my Elegance. As I mentioned, I got a kit from them that had all these cool bits. Y'all know I've been using Atwood Industries for the longest, the same little bits. And so I wanted to have a little change and try some different bits and not keep my little box so closed in, even though I just kind of found a different box, but still, okay? So remove the dead skin from the nail plate, which is the cuticle. Then I dusted this off, and I'm cleaning this with a nail cleanser. Kind of dusted it off and make sure I get into those nail folds and everything like that, and get it all dusted out nice and good. And as you may can see, that's not a good sentence. I'm using my Elegance Air Bond, which is an air, it activates with the moisture in the air. It's a bonding agent that's air dried. Then I'm using my Elegance's Tack right now, and I'm using that over the entirety of the nail, just in this instance because I have to apply product over the entirety of the nail because we filed the free edge where the ombre was. So I just want to make sure good adhesion. I'm just trying to make sure everything's good. And I'm using Light Elegances. It's all Light Elegance, y'all. Stick around about that. I'm using the Jimmy Chill and Ideal Pink just as a base, soak off, just in case something happens. These are the products I used. I remembered post to show you. And just so in case anything happens in this wild pandemic, this client can have a little bit of an easier time removing the product just because there's a soak-off product on the actual natural nail. That's why I've been doing it. Yeah. So I'm using Cosmetic Pink Builder Gel from my Elegance. And I'm going in and filling the nail. Then also I have to kind of build up the rest of the nail too, because again, I filed off that ombre from the free edge down. So we're gonna have to balance this nail all over again. So not only are we worried about the cuticle area, but we're worried about the free edge on. So I'm applying a slip layer, which is a thin layer we apply like polish. And you see I'm just getting that applied. And you can work with gel in thinner layers. You don't have, especially with longer nails. Longer nails need a higher apex. In terms of gel, the thicker the gel is, the more heat that it generally gives off, which means it could be a bit more painful. We have different methods to kind of help with the heat, but still nonetheless, that's what you're going to be looking at with a higher apex on a longer nail is more heat and has the potential to be more uncomfortable or even painful to yourself or a client. So when you feel like you may have to build the nail up a little bit more, working in thinner layers probably be better. But it depends on, there's rights and wrongs with everything. So, for time's sake, you may not want to work in these smaller layers, but for the sake of your client or yourself being comfortable, you might want to. So I went ahead and I assume that I decided to work in thinner layers because I applied that layer and cured. And then so I applied another layer like polish. And you see I took a bigger bead and now I'm floating it down towards the free edge. And this is sped up, so it looks like I'm really rapidly moving this around, which I'm actually going a bit slower because I don't want to make air bubbles. That's what I'm very concerned about, especially for a look. I'll be less worried if I was polishing over the entirety of the nail. But since I am going to be leaving so much of the nail this nude color, I don't want those air bubbles if I can help it at all. So as you guys can see, I'm filling in the cuticle area. I'm making sure that free edge has that thickness that it needs. It can be kind of an awkward set to do a feel on when you have to work under these conditions because to save time, you don't want to file the entirety of the nail down if you don't need to. But also you're like, I have to fill it at the cuticle area. Oh, I don't really need to fill it in the center. Oh, I need to fill it free edge down. So it can be weird, but you know what? You can make it. And Builder Gel is very, very forgiving for any lumps and bumps because it's easier and softer to file. It's better for hand health. And you guys, I'm accidentally hitting the stand that I have for whatever reason. And if you're interested, I believe it's down below. I use an Archon mount and I've been having it for like 3 years by now, I believe. Maybe a little longer, give or take. And it is the most sturdy thing, even though I hit it But I just keep it attached to my desk, and I just swing it. I throw my phone in there and swing the arm around when I need it. They are pretty expensive. I'll say about $90, $100, but I 100% will tell you it's worth it. Through my little career, I've worked with flimsier things, and it's just really not worth it to go through multiple flimsy things when you can buy one good quality thing. Also, I have a discount code, and the code is Tabitha, TABYTHA, and you can get 20% off. But like I said, I've been using this. I just recently got a discount code with them, but I've been using this mount for, like I said, 3 years. So one doesn't have to do anything with the other, except I was like, hey, I really love this. I've been using this for some years. Could I get a code with you guys? I think my followers would like to know what I use and help their friend out with a little commission, right? All right, okay. But I've been having the code for a while. I don't really push it that much, but if you're interested, it's an Archon mount, and I'll try to leave the link down below. But if I don't, just Google Archon mounts, and they have them for the iPhone or for whatever that other kind of phone that isn't an iPhone. I'm not even trying to be funny. Galaxy, Android. Yeah. So check them out. Anyways, you see my pinky touch that gel. My fault. But I am still filling these nails. I wanted to leave you guys some good footage. So in case you don't like what I'm talking about, you can mute me and just see the technique and what I'm doing. And like I said, gel is really, really forgiving. You see, I'm just kind of dancing, moving the gel around, using the tip, just kind of move it, make sure I have the thickness near the sidewalls, making sure that apex is where it needs to go. And this cosmetic pink builder, it doesn't really self-level. Well, like Elegance will tell you, it doesn't self-level. Okay, but I find that it slightly self-levels. I wouldn't say it's a self... Yeah, okay, I agree with it. It's slightly self-leveling. And they don't say it's thixotropic. I believe that's the word that when you manipulate it, that the consistency is a little bit more runny. They don't really advertise it as such, but I find that that's how it really is. Like the more that you work with it, just shy of getting air bubbles, but the more you work with it, I find that the viscosity is a little bit thinner. Tell me if you use it, do you feel the same about it? But it has a little bit of a self-leveling quality. I would tell you, if you're new with gel, to get something that is a bit self-leveling. If you are a student or a nail tech and you're interested in light elegance, I would say you start off with like Cool Gel or their Extreme Gel. Kind of that consistency, because the beauty in gel is that it self-levels. It makes it so much easier than acrylic, y'all. So much easier. The learning curve, it's not even that curvy. It's really not. It's such an easy product to use, and it's professional, it's high grade, it's luxury, it's what we need to get into. Yeah, you can get you a beautiful nail with builder gel. I'm telling you, you could spend like a month just really focused on builder gel. I don't even think it's that long, but I don't want to be exaggeratory and be like, you can be applying like amazing sets that would take you years to nail down with acrylic. But everybody's, process of learning and their talent is different. A lot of doing nails is talent. I'm not going to lie to you. But builder gel kind of helps substitute in a respectful way, a lack of talent that some may have or may feel towards nails. It'll substitute in there because it's a great product. So hear me out. I don't want to offend nobody. That's not what I'm looking to do. But if you find it difficult, but you love nails, there's people like, I can't get it, but I love it. Try builder gel. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, so I shaped off camera, and right now I am finished filing the nail, and I'm using this smooth top ceramic fine grit bit. And I'm using that to kind of, sorry, y'all. I have these long nails on my hand. I'm just hitting stuff. I'm doing that to kind of debulk where the areas I need to. And it's real easy. Like I said, at some point, I'm getting enough product on. And it's very easy to file any excess off. And I'll say debulk, and I don't mean like there's a lot, just getting the nail into shape. Debulk was probably the wrong word to use, but I used it, okay? There's no turning back now. I will not start this voiceover again. So after I do that, just to get my proportions right, make sure we have a flush cuticle area. We have a nice apex. We kind of taper down towards the tip, but we don't want to get too thin, balancing the nail. I'm using the shaper bit from Atwood nope. This is from Light Elegance, but I'm used to the crosscut bit. It's very similar to the crosscut bit from Atwood Industries. This is a shaper bit from Light Elegance. So I'm using this to further refine the nail, any little lumps and bumps, to get the cuticle area even more nice and flush. You see how tight it fits in there between the live skin and the actual nail enhancement. We can get a nice, beautiful, flush enhancement that grows out amazingly. You want it to just go from like natural nail and to just have a little ramp up from product being flush, and then you kind of go up more and more and more till we get to our apex and then go back down. So for our free edge, we're looking for. So again, I use this bit to refine the inconsistencies on the surface of the nail, but also this bit is going to take the place of a buffer. I don't really like to use a regular hand buffer to like do this style, like how most people do. If you go to a regular nail shop or other people will use it, it's not my preference because it can be painful towards the live skin and uncomfortable and give that kind of paper cutty feeling that you don't want to have. So using a bit like that, you completely avoid that. If for some reason, I do have buffers around and I use them for other things, but that's not one of them. So I'm using the Buffy bit from Light Elegance. And this is a process. You guys are used to me doing this type of work, buffing the eponychium and removing like the callous dead skin on the beginning of the process. But I've really been enjoying doing it later on in the process. I feel like it does dual work at this point, because if for some reason, because it happens, we don't try for it to happen, but sometimes the product does get on the skin, or sometimes clients will lean their hand over in the light, product will get on skin, sometimes they'll stick their fingers together, again, product on skin. This will help buff it off. We want to reduce that because we don't want overexposure, but again, it does happen. So not only am I buffing off the dead, dry skin, I'm also buffing off any excess of product. So I just use it as a 2-for-1 at that step, and it just makes it feel nice and clean. It helps push the eponychium back a little bit more, again, at the same time, and gets us prepared to do a nice, beautiful polishing or design. So now I'm going in with a white gel. I cannot recall which one I used. It is either the white paint gel from My Elegance or a perfect white from Madam Glam, which is an amazing white. Oh, I think it is, because I see me polishing. Yeah, I think it is, but you want to, okay, for what we're doing, we want a gel that has a little bit of a tacky layer, just very, very slightly, not even one that you can like wipe, like if you touch it with your finger that you could feel it if you rubbed your pointer and your thumb together. Just it's kind of like a little bit tacky with almost not having an inhibition layer or a tacky layer. That's what we're looking for. That's going to work best for what we're doing. So whatever gel, sorry y'all, my ear itches. So whatever gel you have in your stash, white gel that you have in your stash that you feel does that for you, really an art gel white would probably be best. They usually don't cure with the most tackiest, that's not a word, Tabitha, the most tacky of inhibition layers. So that's what I would probably say try to begin with and see how that works for you. Definitely, I recommend, usually if it's something I've never done before, I like to try before my client gets here. I usually ask them what they intend on getting before they arrive if they're not here for a specific set, just so I can make sure I have the items to do it and I understand the process, the skills, the products to accomplish it quickly and effectively. So I'm just drawing this French on. And I believe I'm using the medium striper brush from Wildflowers Nails for this, surprisingly. Seems like the most efficient. And so I'm just measuring the depth of the French, trying to make sure they're as similar as possible. I said it before, you want them to be like sisters. If you can't make them twins, at least sisters. If they're cousins or something, no, we need them full sisters. They can't even be like half sisters. That does not count. We need them to be sisters. And that's it. Twins is ideal. Not fraternal. Identical. Just do your best, okay? But also don't sweat it. So find a balance between doing your best and making it perfect and not sweating it. So this is the inspiration my client brought in. It's from Nail, Nata or Nata or something. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but you've seen the watermark. And this is from, you see the watermark there. Leo Nail 2017 with some underscores in there. So feel free to check out their page and support them. Thank them for the inspiration. I thank them for the inspiration. You don't have to thank them for the inspiration. So I am using acrylic powders for this look. And you'll be like, why? Well, first and foremost, I couldn't find my pigments. That's the first thing. I think I gave them to somebody. I think I did a one-on-one. I think what happened is I did a one-on-one with somebody, and I think they liked it, and I'm just a nice person, so I gave it to them. That's just me. Anyways, not a recent one-on-one, so don't be like, oh, what is he doing? No, this is like a couple years ago by now. And I'm using this brush. It's from Wildflowers Nails. I don't know what they call it, though. I got it a long time ago, many years ago. I'm using a lot of the acrylic powders from Valentino Beauty Pure. And I didn't show them all just because this became I had so many containers of it open. It just became a lot. But I want you to know that that's what I'm using, except one of the colors, I believe I showed it was from Diva Acrylics, which I don't think they make anymore. And I'm using this like stippler kind of duster. It looks kind of like a mini kabuki brush in makeup terms. And I am just stamping and stippling this on. And I really, when I started doing it, because I tried this before my client came, shortly before she came, because I couldn't find, like I said, my pigments. And I was like, what do I do? I can't tell her. We're not going to do this set. It's so cute. I want to do this set. So I went ahead and tried this, and I love it even more than pigments. And let me tell you why. The pigments are so ultra concentrated because, well, they're pigments. They're just pure, straight up powdered color. They have a hard time blending. And as you can see, I feel like the blending here was so much easier just because it has that little bit of actual acrylic. I think it is a buffer between it being ultra concentrated and not. But there's enough color here that, this still looks like a pigment would. But because, and this is me not knowing it for a fact, but just logic tells me, because there is acrylic mixed with this pigment, it makes it less concentrated, less harsh. Because usually with pigment, if you've experienced it, as soon as you put that pink down and try to blend it with the orange, you try to have a nice seamless blend and it can kind of maybe come off that way. But it doesn't really blend to that degree. Definitely try this out. And if you ever tried anything like this with pigment and you try it with this, you're going to be able to tell the difference. And I promise you, you're going to love it. And this is now what I do. And it also opens the door to do when I don't use my acrylic powders anymore. I don't work with acrylic anymore. So it helps allow me to not waste those products and have use for them. But also for techniques like this, and I'm just cleaning. I didn't really think about this aspect with getting it on my actual nude color. Some of it kind of stuck in there, so I'm taking some acetone, I believe, or alcohol. I believe it's acetone. And this brush and just cleaning up any excess. On the other hand, I got a little smarter and I top coated first, so it would just slip off when I did the splats. So you can definitely kind of try that. But I'd worry about bulking up the nail too much, or you'd have to top coat right up to the French. Definitely don't top coat over the white before you put the pigment, because it's not gonna have nothing to adhere to. So you just have to play around with the process of that. And that's what I do a lot of time. I'm just sitting down here trying to find the best way to apply things that you think are very straightforward and easy, just to make sure it's the best process. We get the longest wear out of it. So here I put a little protein bond just to ensure that my top coat had great adhesion, because I was spending time on that hand. You just want to make sure you have good adhesion. You could wipe it all over again with your cleanser, just because, you know, who knows what the client is doing. Not that she did anything crazy knowingly, but, you know, oils come about and things like that, just touching different surfaces while I'm spending 30, 45 minutes, an hour on the other hand. So protein bond. Then I am top coating with a no wipe top coat, because again, I felt like I found out how to remedy the issue from the other hand, and I pretty much did. Okay, pretty much did. So that hand, I went ahead and top coated. I ended up top coating twice because it, just to kind of even it out a little more, there was a level difference from the nail bed color and the actual white. So sometimes I top coat for that reason, just double top coat for that reason. Just so I can make sure it's a nice, beautiful, level nail, and that top coat will self-level in there. And then also, I don't know if I showed it, but I went ahead and regained my shape back a little bit. I had to kind of play it cool and not file off any of my colors. So I did that. I don't know if I showed it on camera at any point. And then, so I top coated, gained my shape, dusted that off, and re-top coat. So it's for dual purpose. So for this hand, we're going to basically do the same process, but with just a different design with our white. And I'm going to be using these Valentino Beauty Pure. I think it was a collection. A lot of these colors I think it was a pop collection they had. It's their bright and neon acrylic pigment colors. So I'm just using this brush, and I wish I could tell you guys what it is called. It doesn't even have a name on it. I'm looking at it, and while I'm doing this voiceover, it's like their stippling brush. Again, it looks like a little kabuki brush. It has a lot of bristles. It picks up a lot of, product. Perfect for this application. So the top coat situation basically worked, except I had around the cuticle area where it kind of got stuck in there, but it very easily came off, as you can see. And then I went ahead and applied it, dusted it off, because I don't want to trap anything with my top coat. So using a wet top coat. And then that was it for this point. Oh, sorry, my desk is a little creaky. So let me show you how I achieved this splatter look. I just kind of did one off camera. I didn't know if it'd work out, if I could get that illusion. Let me stop making this creaking sound. And so I just took the brush and kind of put product. This is a very abstract thing that you want to do. You don't want it to look perfect. You don't want it to look drawn on. And I'm trying also not to make this look like a little spermazoa looking thing. And I know I was like, that's what it kind of looks like. So I kind of rectify that situation shortly. And so I want some like slings of like color out, like splatters. And you see, I'm just kind of like, make that better. And yeah, maybe two tails are better than one. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I really like how it came out. And maybe I'm too close to it. But honestly, tell me down below, do these look drawn on? If you didn't know I drew them on, did you think I drew this on? So I'm kind of trying to be very organic and just kind of put little splatters, bigger, smaller. You see one where I just put a little bit product and stamped the brush down and kind of picked it up and it kind of threw a line of product. I just didn't, it would have been difficult. That's why I say, like, you have to kind of practice these things because it wouldn't really have been ideal to create this with like an actual splatter effect with like using a toothbrush or blowing with a straw, which I don't think is a thing because that doesn't seem sanitary because spit and stuff can get on there. Also, it's pandemic. I'm keeping my mask on. I double mask. So there's just multiple reasons why that wasn't a thing. And then if I did splatter when I get on the skin, I know there's latex situations for that, but that's a whole nother thing I gotta let dry. And hopefully it works efficiently. And then, I have to, will this product even splatter? Is the first thing the viscosity of this gel product, because we need this product to be a gel product because that's how we are going to apply the pigment efficiently. So these are all things to take into account when you're doing an art look. So, I had to figure out really how to draw this because it wasn't really an option to do anything else, at least at this point with this process. If this was just going to be like a solid blue or something, then yeah, we could figure that out. But because I needed that white, and if it wouldn't have splattered appropriately, if it needed to be watered down, that could affect how it cured, which could affect how the pigment would stick onto it. You know what I'm saying? So you can definitely, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I just know there have been a lot of trial and error with trying to do it in that way. And my client was already here. I didn't have time for trial and error. It's an actual paying client. I have time for it. So I went with what I knew. And I just tried to draw, a nice, cute little splatter situation. And I'm using this brush to kind of make it, again, as organic as possible. Kind of slinging some product out. You see, I'm trying to kind of plop it and pull and swap. Just any onomatopoeias. Just flop, floop, swoop, doop. And just trying. I wanted to look like a brush just kind of like touched it and kind of swang across one way and swang across the other way. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And then, it's important to add the little dots. Once you get out of this main focus of your splatter situation, you want to add the little dots. And you want to have little fine lines, little strings out there. I probably should have added more little splatters. But, you live and you learn. Hopefully you won't need loves. But you'll need love. It's me being inspirational, guys. So yeah, you see I'm just tapping and adding just little bitty dots. And then I go ahead and I want to tell you guys, I'm curing before I do this pigment. Just in case you're confused or want to ask, this has to be cured first. It's not wet. It would go everywhere. And then I apply that, as you can see. And I just really love how this worked. And that's what I didn't even finish my sentence earlier. I'm excited for this because it opens the door to working with other colors, because we know that you can easily find neon pigments, like black, white, and just neon, pink, purple, blue, yellow, orange, green. That's not a thing. But I'm excited to maybe work with this process with acrylic colors, the pigments of different, like olive green or burgundy or a dark blue, a dark purple, a red, things of that sort. I think that is exciting. It opens those doors to be able to do this effect with not just neons, because just to reiterate, most times the pigments that you're going to be able to get your hands on, especially in the nail world, are going to be bright neon ones. So I haven't seen yet. Now watch, I'm going to say this and somebody's going to come out with it. Of somebody with having like fall colors and neons, or just like basic, primary colors or something like that. So I am interested to try this effect with those types of colors, especially with fall coming and winter coming. I think it'll be exciting. So maybe I'll get to revisit this process. Maybe not this exact look, of course, but revisit this process with those types of colors. So hopefully that's a thing for me. Or you guys could try it and tag me on Instagram. Please, you guys got to follow me on Instagram. You'll see different things on here versus Instagram. So follow me there. It's at @tabitha_nails or .nails. It's _nails. Either, y'all know it's me. It's Tabitha with a Y, okay? That's me. You'll find me on Instagram. Follow me there. And then if you try this with like different colors, like I said, more kind of primary colors, darker colors, fall colors with like acrylic powders, let me know. Yeah. So now I'm taking the Gel Bottle Inks Rubber Top Coat. It's a good product to have on hand, I'm gonna be honest. Because it's very, very thick. If you don't have it on hand, just a very thick no wipe top coat is the ideal thing to use. Now, this is the first finger that I did using this. I know we wanted it to be 3D. We wanted to make it look wet and splattery. And what I found out was that I got a little, I can't think of the word right now, but I wanted to do so much at one time, and I shouldn't have. I should have did a little bit and cured. So I have my handy little LED flashlight, so I can flash cure things into place. And so I kind of learned, because it does self-level. It is thicker. You're able to build up texture on the nail, but it will self-level sitting on there for a while. So I would recommend, if you're going to be using this product, to get you a little LED flashlight. You can get one from Amazon, y'all. Just real easy, simple. I think I have it in my Amazon store down below. I'm not sure, but if not, just look at it on Amazon. So I'm just going over our little splats and splatters, and just doing, like I said, a couple at a time, and using my lamp. My battery's kind of janky. And flash curing that. Then I add a little more, flash cure it again. Then over and over again. Then you just want to follow it. Again, you don't want it to self-level too much. You want it to really echo. It's not going to be 100% perfect. But I really think, and it may seem tedious, but I think it's really important to go over those little dots as well. It's those details that really matter, because it's easy to go over that big part. To go over each of those little splatters, it's those details that matter, and kind of bring it to life even more so. So, and it seems tedious, and honestly, it's not. It's just a little touch. You get some on that little brush and just touch it, flash cure, touch it, flash cure. So then once it's flash cured, I'm adding a little more on top, on the nude part of the nail, on the actual color splatter part. It just makes it looks like water. It looks like it's wet. And that's what we're looking for. We want it to look like the actual color is a 3D splatter with some other wet water type look was the effect. I don't really know. I think that was a step beyond what the inspiration picture showed. I may be wrong though. I'm not gonna go back at this point. I'm too far ahead. I can't turn back. But I think I don't know that they had the actual wet water splatter aspect to it. So you want to make sure you cure it first. Get you at least a little flash cure on. And then you can go back over and add those droplets of just the plain clear to look like water. Of course, you can just use this effect on for different uses. You know, it doesn't have to be on this 3D splatter already. You can just use it on a, you know, matte red nail and throw this on here. So this is the final look, you guys. This set was super fun. I'm glad I found out about the whole acrylic pigment situation. Put a little heart emoji down below if you just learned that with me as I'm telling you guys. Definitely try it. Tag me on Instagram. Don't forget to ring the bell for my uploads. I had to go out of town, you guys, and I wasn't prepared to get you some good uploads going, so I apologize, but we're back in effect. I really want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up and please subscribe, you guys. Thank you. Be kind to your neighbor. Bye.